mute, press 1. To get the list of participants, press 2. To log in as a moderator, press 9. To please enter the moderator PIN and press pound.
It is live.
You have joined the conference as a moderator. You will now be placed into the conference. You are the first participant in the conference. To turn off the music, press pound. Press star for help.
We are live. Ready to go? We haven't got anybody joined us yet. No.
I've joined you.
Who we got?
Jimmy Westbrook. I'm here.
Okay. Everybody jump on at once.
This is Robert Crewat with Phoenix Investors on the line as well.
Okay. Do you have a list of the members?
Got Ricky, Tom, and Jimmy, and Mr. Robert from Phoenix Investment. Who else is on there?
Hey, Jolly.
Hey, this is Shelby Virgin with the County Economic Development.
Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Jennifer.
We have Tony Winstead yet?
Yep, I'm here.
Gotcha. Mark Maddox? Colin Johnson?
Here.
Bob Page? Okay, we have Mayor Washburn and Junior Moore present in City Hall.
Jennifer, I didn't hear my name. Hey, Jolly.
Gotcha, I heard you.
Okay.
Okay, we definitely have a quorum with just 3 members absent, 2 members absent. Mark and Bob Page. Thank you all for taking time to join us. Just a rundown of, just to give you a balance on our finances right now, since we haven't met in quite some time. Checking account balance as of the end of July was $191,980.35. And I've since paid the electric bill for the holding pond or whatever at the Pad Ready site. And I'm being a moderator reader. Junior and Mayor have Junior's having trouble seeing, and the Mayor's left his glasses. So I'm gonna do my best in trying to convey this information to you, along with their help.
If I might summarize just off the bat, a few weeks ago we received some contact from Phoenix Investments, who their representative is on the line tonight with us, and their proposal was that they would like to buy the title to the land, the real estate, the building, the old W.F. Hall Printing Company building where it is situated, and they have been in negotiation with Frog Properties for some time and have reached an agreement with Frog Properties to purchase the lease. they have reached. If you would turn your mics, mute your mics for us, please. And if you can, if you're on a regular telephone, just cover the handset so we don't get the feedback. What has happened is Phoenix Investment negotiated with Frog Properties to purchase their lease of the building where Champion Homes is located and where Frog Properties has been leasing space to others for warehousing over the last few years. And each of you should have received some information from Phoenix Investments about what their company does and telling a little bit about their intentions with the building is to modernize it, renovate it in places where it needs it, and to continue with the lease on Champion Homes, which extends through 2028, if I recall our conversation, and then upon the obtaining of the lease, they would also seek to enter into some warehousing agreements with other companies, and they have shared that they have been speaking with MTD as using this site as an additional warehousing space, and maybe even some other companies in the area that would need warehousing. So I'm sorry, I don't remember the gentleman's name from Robert Kurloff. Mr. Kurloff, if you would just explain to the industrial board beyond what I've summarized there and what your intentions are for the building and why you would want to own the title to the building and be simple.
Certainly. Just a little bit of background about Phoenix Investors in general first. We have a portfolio of about 45 million square feet of industrial space. Building is very similar to the one in Dresden across 22 states now. Typically buy the building sites like the Dresden printing plant, and we'll come in, we're intended to put new roofs on it, new lighting, new dock equipment, basically invest quite a bit of money into the buildings really for the long term. As you indicated before, Champion Homes is a tenant there. I believe their current lease goes through about 2028. Our hope is that they can be a tenant there for a long time in the future. And having said that, as we look at some other leasing opportunities, FTD products is one of those. We're going to try and structure those in a way that a Champion needs to grow in that space to be able to bring more jobs into the community. We're going to structure those leases in that way just to give flexibility to Champion. So that's really one of our goals there is to do that. But ultimately, hope to find some other good tenants as well for some space and can keep that building full. Longer term, I believe the entire site is around 99 acres, which is more than what's on the building right now. We'd ultimately like to be able to, if the demand is there, to build another building on the site at some point. Again, not making any promises by any means, but given the demand we've already seen for that building that's out there, I could very much see that happening sometime in the future. From our perspective, the reason why we're seeking the fee simple title on the land, overall it makes the financing easier for us. Just the banks and such get a little queasy when the building they're financing is on lease property. So ultimately that's not a deal breaker, so I don't want to say that it is to this group, but it really makes things easier if we can own that fee simple.
Okay. Have you calculated any particular number of acres that you would want?
The entire site right now under the lease, I believe, is 99-point-something acres. Ideally, we would get that entire 99 acres. That would be the ideal given the long-term nature of our expansion plans there. If that wasn't amenable to this group, at least the land that's under the building, some additional acres for parking for trailers and such. Champion uses a fairly sizable laydown yard to one side of the building, and I could certainly foresee that laydown yard growing. So I want to make sure to be able to accommodate those guys in the future.
Okay. One thing I would like to call to the Phoenix's attention, as well as the industrial board, is that the city of Dresden has a sewage lagoon on the very east end of this piece of property. And I think the city, for the sake of having ingress and egress to the sewage lagoon and things, would like to exclude it. But I think this lagoon is located in such an area that it's of no use to the Phoenix to actually own title to that. And that would be something the city would want to retain, just for the sake of being able to provide sewage service to this plant and the other industrial park as well that we have out there, and any future growth that might come out there. And I'm sure that Phoenix probably would not want to assume the liability and obligation for those sewage lagoons if they were to own them in fee simple.
You are absolutely right. I was not aware that was part of the plan.
I think it is probably what we would need to, the property was surveyed when Frog Properties bought the property. There was a survey done. Probably what we need to do is get the surveyor that did that survey to take a look and just make sure that that sewage lagoon area is, if it's included, to get us a description to exclude it. And if it is excluded, then that's no problem whatsoever. There may be some utility lines that might be buried on that other property as well, leading to the sewage lagoon. Part of those the company has maintained because it's a part of the lease, but some of it may be a feeder line from the other pad ready site, and we'd want to ensure that we have ingress and egress to those lines. If they are, we just have to spot them and locate them, and or put a general provision within that deed that the city would retain the right of ingress and egress for the purpose of repairing those lines and maintaining those lines.
Yeah, that makes sense for you to have an easement for that, certainly.
Also, those lines from the existing plant that's there also connect into that feed to the lagoon. So we would certainly want to be able to keep that plant serviced and maintained as well. From a city perspective, that's not necessarily an industrial board perspective, but the city is interested in keeping the lines operational and having access so we can make repairs when needed.
Mayor,
Yes.
the 99 acres we're talking about, that's all on one side of the track, right?
It is. It's on the south side of the former L&N railroad tracks now that's maintained, or CSX tracks that are still owned by CSX, but are leased by West Tennessee Railroad that service that plant. All of this land is located between old Highway 22 and the railroad track that we're speaking of.
It's kind of a long, narrow parcel.
It is. It is, in fact. And we'd love to see another plant built on just east of the existing plant.
Well, so would we. So would we.
Well, I thought I'd just throw that in, but we are interested in any investment out there. We're interested in growing our job base and having good jobs in our city. We're looking for those, and we'd certainly give you all the encouragement and whatever public assistance that we could in that regard. If you were to obtain all that land, we'd certainly encourage you to develop it and be a help to you.
Appreciate that.
In doing that.
Are we currently getting any revenue off the lease?
We do. We get $3,600 per year. That's what Frog Properties had played. That's what it started off in 1972, was at $3,600 a year, and it's been that for the entire length of it. There's approximately 51 years left on the lease, by the way.
Are they current on those payments?
They are currently current on those payments.
Last payment was made in December.
I think they're behind on some of the property taxes on the leasehold, but that may not be true. They were not too long ago.
They are behind, yes. So that'll be caught up with that time of sale.
Yes. And we thought that in the normal course of a real estate closing, all those things are caught up and taken care of. The industrial board may have received an email from Jennifer today. We asked that the property assessor give us some idea of what industrial property is worth in Tennessee. And he contacted a specialist with the Tennessee Comptroller's Office Division of Property Assessment who deals with industrial property. And he says generally industrial property in Tennessee averages between $7,500 and $12,000 per acre. And he thought that the $12,000 per acre was high for this area because it was primarily for metro areas that they got that kind of price. But he thought that probably top end would be 10,000, the bottom end would probably be 7,500 in that range of value for the land that this building sits on.
So to give you some idea of where that falls for us, I believe that the entire purchase price for that property that we negotiated is somewhere between $3.5 and $4 million for the leasehold improvement. So just to give you some benchmark as well. So in our view, the 7,500 is probably, even that is probably high, but I completely understand your position needing to market. So.
With having told you all of that, I'm just going to sit back and let you gentlemen discuss it and let Mr. Moore guide that discussion and see where we go and see how we can work together to maybe achieve something tonight. I guess it'd be proper to ask for any questions from board members.
So I'm trying to understand, is there an offer for the land? Is this the offer for Frog property and land in total, or just, I guess my question is, what are we here for?
Phoenix Investors is in the process of purchasing the leasehold improvements for the building on the site from Frog Properties. Ultimately, we would like to be able to own the land that those leasehold improvements are on, all right? So basically, it's a simple purchase. So we're looking for what would the industrial board need per acre for us to purchase the land under the building.
There's been no offers.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I said, so there's been no offer made.
There has not been an offer made for the land itself. They have negotiated a purchase price for the lease that is held by Frog Properties that he just told you about a moment ago, but they have not made an offer on the land to us, no.
Well, I think we would consider any offer, you know.
So the price type that we have seen in other markets, in other situations like this where the building already has a property on it, it's typically in the $2,500 to $3,000 acre range. That was really the number coming to this meeting that I had in my mind as being what the property was worth.
All right, so the company's offered to pay $3,000 an acre, is that what you're telling me?
That would be about the max that we feel it's worth, yes.
Okay. And that would be on how many?
99 acres.
More or less.
Unless the,
Right.
more or less of the,
Minus the lagoon.
for the tuition branches separate of the retaining ponds other than because on that parcel, then that needs to be split off. They need to be split off.
Mr. Chairman, I'd hate to go against what the state values are, even on the low side.
Okay, well, do we hear anything from the other board members? Jim, you've been on the industrial board a long time, involved in the economic development board and county industrial board. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have been a long time, but really I've had much experience on this home like we're talking about tonight. I would, you check with the Division of Property Assessments. I wonder what some experience has been with other industrial boards that sold land or like this and what they got like sales.
It appears to me we need to study on this a little bit and have some more discussion. I don't know.
Well, I think that's obvious that we do. Not trying to drag it out by any stretch of imagination, but I don't think we have enough information, to be honest with you, or experience or information or knowledge to make a price here tonight. But I think we need to investigate. I understand what the state says, but that depends on location, I'd say.
It does exactly, Mr. Westbrooks, and some of that land, as you're aware of, is wetland, or it's very wet, and maybe back toward the lagoon area would not be developable land as such, but that would be something we need to look at. And I think you've hit it right on the head that maybe we should investigate what the land value has been for other such sales, and not just what possibly the value of marketable industrial land is, maybe sitting bare, ready for purchase and built to a custom built building.
Well, what I've been told about that land is that there is some that all 99 acres are not equally as valuable.
That's correct.
About how much of that is wetland?
If you go out there, you'll notice that where the power lines cut across that land, that part right there back toward the lagoon generally sits wet the entire year, and it's undeveloped. Now, from the land that has been being mowed the last few years, that is adjacent to the parking area for the trailers, back probably another 25, 30 acres, that's probably developable land in there. But I'm gonna say that, just guessing that probably out of that 99, there's about 30 acres that would be wetlands that couldn't be developed.
Well, so another piece of information is,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
so one other piece of information as well, in the original groundhole lease documentation, there was a purchase option of $60,000 for the entire parcel, but that expired in 1991, so about 30 years ago.
Yes.
Taking that number and 3% inflation comes up to about $145,000 in today's dollars. So just another piece of information to support.
Okay.
Of course, that wetland it's not underwater. It would be suitable to park trailers on, for instance. It's not building a structure on it.
That's right. That's correct, Jim.
Hey everyone, this is Shelby Surgeon with the Lisa County Health Board. I just wanted to jump in real quick. We were talking about price points, just to give a little bit of just surrounding areas. So in Greenfield, we have a 91-acre site. It's not owned by the Industrial Board, but it's currently optioned, and they can buy that for about $6,000 an acre. And then the Dresden pad ready site that we have in Dresden, the latest terms that I had for that one was a sale price of $4,000 an acre. So just wanted to kind of give you a little bit on that.
Is there any sense of urgency or having an answer tonight or even in the next 30 days for the scope of what the purchase is to be done?
So we don't necessarily need an answer tonight. 30 days is probably pushing things. We would really like to have this resolved prior to closing on the property. Right now we're set to close at the end of August. We can certainly push that out a few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks if we need to, but pushing out much beyond that gets to be very difficult.
I'm going to recess.
Okay, got a motion to recess. Was that Colin? Okay, Colin, I believe you made a motion to recess and re-adjourn after giving some more thought and investigation. Is that correct?
That would be not.
Can we give it another week?
Yeah,
Okay, meet again next Monday night.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and second that we investigate it over this week. We meet again next Monday night, I guess the same time, and make a decision at that time. We've got a motion and second. I'm going to ask that Jennifer call the roll, please.
Who seconded that motion?
Before you
Have a discussion.
One other bit of discussion.
Yes.
In this week coming up, we need to have someone, maybe that's not, we'd be talking about this at the meeting though, but I think we need to do some investigation and so forth.
I was hoping maybe Shelby might help us out with that and reach out to her resources at the ECD and see if they might have information on sales of prior industrial buildings that have been sold in this fashion and give us some idea and report back maybe 3, 4, 5 examples. Would that be something you would help us with, Shelby?
Yes, I can definitely do that.
Okay.
That's good.
Anything else, Jim?
Does the chairman need to appoint some individuals to follow up on this?
What did you say?
I want to appoint some individuals to follow up on information.
The question was, do you want to appoint someone to follow up on this?
Someone on the board.
Well, the board or Shelby?
I'd say Shelby and Jim Westbrook.
I've got some other issues going right now. I'd rather decline. I really don't have time to do it.
Colin Johnson.
I'd be glad to do it.
What'd you say, Colin?
He said he'd be
I
glad
said
to.
I'd be glad to do it.
I think you'd be a good one. All right. The chairman has appointed Shelby and Colin to follow up and talk with one another and see what they can arrive at as far as historical values in similar situations. And we'll meet again next Monday night. All right. Anything else, fellas? And lady?
Do you want to do a roll call vote, or you want to?
Yeah, let's do a roll call vote on that. And
Okay, voting on recessing and meeting again next Monday night at 5:30, Monday, August 24th. Ricky Finney,
Yes.
Tom Revis.
Yes. Yes.
Jimmy Westbrook,
Yes.
Larry Jolly,
Yes.
Junior Moore,
Yeah.
Tony Winstead,
Yes.
Colin Johnson.
Here. Yes.
Shelby, you okay with it? You don't get a vote, but.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mr. Robert, are you free to join us again next Monday night? I don't know what time zone you're on.
Absolutely, I'm in Central Time as well.
Okay.
I appreciate everybody moving quickly on this. That's really helpful to us.
All right, I will email these notes out, first thing in the morning with some calculations of some figures that I've written down tonight. So, Shelby and Colin will get together and see what information we can pull together.
Sounds great.
any other business? Hearing none, I think we ought to entertain a motion to adjourn. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Make a motion.
Here with a second.
Second.
Okay, Ricky, second. And all in favor, if you would, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries, and we'll meet again next Monday night. Thank all of you gentlemen and Shelby and Jennifer here as well for being in this meeting tonight. It's difficult to meet in this fashion, but we've accomplished something and ready to move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So, 55 years times 36